Hey guys, it's Chris with Bottom View Farms. Welcome back. It has been a while since I've made a video. I wanted to tell you about the meat birds that we raised. We kept them for 8 weeks and hauled them to Arthur yesterday and got them butchered. We had a really rough go around with these birds this very first time. This is the very first time I've ever raised meat chickens, and I can genuinely say that I learned a lot. They did not get nearly as big as I had hoped. I have one. This is about average. I'm thawing this one out for dinner. I have not eaten any of them yet. I'm going to eat them tonight. I'm going to have we've got a little electric rotisserie, and so I'm gonna roast this on the rotisserie. So I will have to let you know how good they are at a later time. I'm sitting here in front of the broiler shelter. This shelter is a 10 by 12, and it is 2 feet high, and I raised 38 chickens in it. It is large enough to raise 75, which was the intent, but I had a lot of problems that I'm going to go over with you. Reason being, I just want to be transparent, and I want you guys to know what my practices are, and you know why I charge what I charge for this meat. Hi, Betty. But also, I want you to be able to do this as well. It's not hard. I will say it was not difficult. I'm sorry for the sunshine. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. Like, I took a lot of pride in the fact that I was raising a good quality product. I'm sorry that they were not as productive as I had hoped. But I have a game plan for next time to hopefully correct that. First off, when the chicks came in, I lost more than I thought I should. They say typically 10%. You'll have about 10% loss. That's about what I had, a little more than. I had 70 birds and I lost 8 chicks over the course of the first 2 weeks or so. Some for no apparent reason, some because I think I let, some get too cold, which is probably the same for them all. But also, I learned the hard way that meat birds are incredibly stupid. They are, like, they freak out really easy, and when they get really excited for whatever reason, whether it's for food, for water, for fear, they will trample each other. And I saw that happen more than once throughout the whole feeding, or the whole growing season this year. I lost probably 4. I think I lost 4. I don't know, maybe 6 to the other chick mates literally just like trampling them, standing on them, getting their faces stuck in the bedding and in the mud, and they died, which is really frustrating. And then once I moved them outside, see, we had a plan to move them out like at a certain date. I think it was 4 weeks in, 4 weeks out. Yeah. But we had to build this shelter, and by we, I mean my darling boyfriend, my carpenter boyfriend. And unfortunately, fortunately, he's very good at what he does, and so his services are in high demand. And so that got put off about a week longer than I had hoped. But I had bought some electric fencing, like net fencing, that is mobile. It's designed to be moved every couple of days or so. And so I put that up, and I moved the chickens into my garden area so that they could like fertilize that and kind of work that up, eat some bugs out of there. I figured that would be a win-win situation. You know, they would benefit from it. They'd have all that. It was about 200 square feet that they had access to, and they were really happy. I think they really enjoyed it. But I did not give them a secure enough coop, and we had a predator get in one night and killed 18. That was not a good day. I was very upset. Obviously. I'm learning how to do this from internet mentors. You know, nobody in my area raises chickens like this, and a lot of people laugh at me for doing this. But I have seen where other people have really had some great success with it, and I feel like it's great for the environment, it's great for us, it's better for the chickens. You know, they actually get to live a chicken's life, even if it is just for a short time. So I am committed to making this work. I feel like I just had unrealistic expectations for that fencing, and I very much underestimated the potential of the predators in our area. I can guarantee I won't be making that mistake again. They're smart. They quickly figured out that don't touch the ground and you can climb the fence. And they did. And they really put the hurt on my flock. So, that all said, Chris's failures, we ended up taking 38 chickens to Arthur yesterday and had them all butchered. I would say the average weight this is probably a little bit smaller than the average. This is over 2.5 pounds. I would say, realistically, I haven't like calculated it, but we have a lot of chickens that are 3 pounds, just under, just over, and close to 4 pounds. So I would say in the 3+ pounds is what we got this time. So definitely disappointing, but not so discouraging that I'm never going to do it again. I'm going to do it again, with a better game plan. I have been raising chickens for about 3 years now, but I've been laying hens, and the manner in which you feed the two types are very different, and I did not realize that bagged feed for chickens, which I use organic, the organic feed is just not enough for them. And I was sourcing it through Rural King, which was a mistake. They are incredibly expensive, and they do not work with you on pricing. They don't give you any kind of a bulk discount for ordering things, you know, by the pallet or any kind of gross quantity, which is really disappointing. And I had quit my job this year, so like I had saved up a bunch of money for this endeavor, and I think I was just afraid that I was going to like overspend, and while being so conservative, in the places I should have been a little more lenient, I shot myself in the foot. I should have been spending more on feed, more feed, and supplementing more protein, because the organic feed is just low. It's got a low protein content, which isn't a big deal, but this time of the year, when these birds should have had access to like the bugs outside, they just aren't here. And so it was just, you know, like the perfect storm of me and just being ignorant, just not knowing any better, and being afraid to overspend. Like, being in debt, you know, is bondage, and I am doing this all out of pocket. And so I was just conservative in the wrong place. I will say though, with this endeavor, as like a business model startup plan, really is pretty reasonable, you know. I spent a lot of money, um, but in the long run, you know, it will pay for itself. And I had hoped that it would pay for itself this first round. But with all of the troubles that I had and all the inconsistencies, that is not possible. That is not going to happen. So hopefully next time I will see a profit. Because I won't have to have all the investments that I have made this year will already have been made. So next time around will be better. Anyway, like I said, I'm not saying this to discourage anybody. I'm saying this hopefully to encourage you, to either, you know, if you want a better quality product and you care about animal, you know, the animal's well-being, I hope you start considering to source your meat through farmers like myself. Or if you can, start raising your meat like farmers like myself. I'll have to show you the ground behind me. We use this shelter. Like I said, it's a 10 by 12 shelter by 2 foot high. And it holds 75 birds. And every day you move it onto a new patch of grass. And so your birds have fresh pasture every single day. And let me tell you, these meat birds are nasty. They poop a lot. So all of the manure builds up. Like, it's shocking how much they poop in one day. So, like, it's good because it's fantastic for the ground. But it's bad because it's icky. It's just icky. But what's really cool is that they are providing a service to the earth. I don't know about where you live, but where I live, our soil is very heavy clay. And I feel like doing this repeatedly over the course of a decade or so is going to really help repair our topsoil. And that's like a big part of the reason why I'm doing this too, because I also garden. You know, I know a lot of people follow me strictly for the gardening, and that is really important to me. And I think it's really cool, like especially with the electric fencing, you could put them in your garden space, depending on how big it is, you know, for a day or 2 days, or if you have a big space like I have, you know, for a week or more. And they did really good. They turned it and they fertilized it, and I'm anxious to see if you know, I feel like it made any difference in the spring, which I'm sure it will. But doing this type of farming, you can really like put your animals to work while they make meat for you, which is really cool. You know, they can help steward the earth while providing you with an excellent protein source that is GMO free, hormone free, antibiotic free, and they're living the lives that really God intended for them to live. And then it's giving us a far superior food, you know, in the long run. So like I said, I'm sorry that these animals did not end up producing the poundage, you know, that I was hoping they would. But chickens this size, really, this is, like, if you're just like 1 or 2 people in your household, this is perfect for like one meal, and then some. You know, you can really do a lot with one little chicken. You know, roast it, or rotisserie it, or fry it, whatever. And then with your leftovers, make chicken salad for the next day, or for, lunches for the next couple of days. Or shred the meat and make tacos with it the next night, or cube it up and put it in soup. And what's really cool is you can save the carcass, the bones, roast that with your holy trinity. What is that? Carrots, onions, and celery, salt and pepper, a little bit of thyme, rosemary, and then boil that down after you roast it for like 45 to an hour. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've done it. And then you've got some really delicious farm-raised, pasture-raised chicken stock. You can just put that in the fridge. Sorry, the sun's right behind me. You can just put that in the fridge and then use that, within a week or so. Or if you're canning savvy, you can can it and put it up for later use with sometime within the next year or so. You really do have a lot of potential with one whole chicken. It can serve you in many ways. And so I hope you guys do consider reaching out to me if you would like some. Unfortunately, my supply is a lot shallower than I was hoping it would be. And if you have a large family, maybe consider just getting 2 per meal, if you've got a lot of kids or something. But if it's just you, or you and a spouse, or you and a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, 1 is definitely enough for 1 meal, and then some, for sure. I would like to show you this shelter. Like I said, it's 10 by 12. And every day I would just come over to this side and open this door and put their feed bins in here. I had 2. I would feed them in the morning and then again at night, and put their water. Eventually I'm going to get like an on-demand water system for these. They're just really expensive, and like I said, money stresses me out, so I didn't buy one. I just made do with the regular chicken waters that I have. But an on-demand watering system will really conserve water, because they spill a lot, and so you're hauling water several times a day, whereas with the on-demand system, you fill it up just like once, and then once they get to be like 6 and 7 weeks old, then you have to kind of top it off at the end of the day. But this really works out well. So they have this huge, it really is huge. It's a 10 by 12 square feet, and every day you just move it to a new patch of grass. I'm going to see if I can show you this ground. You can kind of see each day like where we moved it and how they had eaten down the grass, and it's like covered with manure as well. Not so much as if it were full, but there's still a lot of poop down there. And so I'm really happy with how this worked. Ideally, I ended up using a 4-wheeler to move it every day. It's too heavy to move by yourself with no wheels under it. But I got the plans for this from Joel Salatin. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's got several books about mobily pasture raising all of your meat. So like chickens, turkeys, pigs, cattle, rabbits. And he wrote a book. What is it called? Dang. I will find it, and I will put it, the information in the show notes, okay? But you can buy that book. My arm is tired. You can buy that book, and it is full of every single plan he has ever used on his farm. His farm is called Polyface Farms. I believe they're out of Virginia. And this is how he raises all of his animals. Ethically, as organically as possible. I think they actually might be organically certified, which where I'm located, I don't think that's possible. But that doesn't stop me from doing it as organically as we can, you know. Um, so anyway, you can find, I'll see if I can find a link for you, and if I can, I will also put that down below. A link to the plans. I know a lot of other farmers have really great like mobile chicken coop plans, and they're free online. Like Justin Rhodes, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he calls it his chickshaw. And I would like to make one of those in the spring and just see, you know, which one works better. That is really better for like egg layers though. It's good for collecting eggs. It's not ideal for, you know, raising 75 birds at a time. It's more for like raising like a dozen birds at a time. So that would be great for like an egg laying situation, just like for your own family. But anyway, this is a very simple model. It costs about $300 to build this structure with everything. And there are also plans in the book for a dolly specifically for this purpose. And so maybe just for one structure, we might just stick with the four-wheeler. But if you're doing more than one, hooking up a four-wheeler to everything is, I don't know. It's hard on the structure, I will say. Like, it's made to be put on a dolly. And so this book also has plans for that. So if you know, like, a metalsmith, a welder, whatever, you might want to get in touch with them. Or if you're savvy with metal yourself, you could probably just make it yourself. I'm not, so I can't. But I know people who are. So anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to share with you today. I will be reaching out to a few people who were interested in trying the meat. But otherwise, we are going to really put our efforts into the spring, and hopefully we'll have a lot more to offer then. So, thank you for following Bottom View Farms, and thank you for your support. I appreciate the care and encouragement, and I hope to really just share that with you guys, okay? So thanks a lot. I guess we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.